Today I'm going to show you how to start this torsion bookmark and how to do a spider. Most torsion bookmarks, or quite a few torsion bookmarks, start in this manner, so you may find this helpful even if you haven't got this particular pattern. This pattern and many of them start with a row of torsion ground down both sides. So to start the torsion ground, as I did on the last piece with the rose ground, we start with pins at above the pattern, temporary support pins, and the torsion ground stitch is half stitch, pin, half stitch, and we're going to put in the pairs sufficient to work this spider. Now again, there are many different sorts of spiders. I can show you two variations on this one today. There is a cloth stitch one and there is a half stitch one. Both have a very different appearance. So I'm working down the right hand side first of all to get in the pairs that we need for this spider. And each one I put on the temporary support pin, work the stitch for this outside line of ground. I'm just going to do enough for the first spider. Now that's the last one that will go down the halo that goes around it, the outline. So we'll go on to the other side. Again, just adding them in for each pin to start this piece. And each time you've added one in and you've put the pin up for the half stitch, you release it from the temporary support pin. And because it's in half stitch, as soon as you've put the pin in, you can actually release it, whereas sometimes you have to leave the support pin in just that little bit longer. And the last one to finish on the outside before we do the spider. Now this spider has actually got another row of ground. You can see from the pattern that there is a line of pinholes either side of the spider, so again they are torsion ground and you have to work those before we do the spider. So start in the middle and again do the half stitch, pin, half stitch down both sides of the spider. Some spiders don't have this, it depends on your pattern. Sometimes they will go straight out from a cloth stitch trail, for instance, and then they will go straight into the spider. But just have a look at your pattern. If you've got a row of pinholes, this is what you need to do. And again on the left hand side, doing exactly the same. Now we have, on this spider we have two legs coming in from the left, two coming in from the right. Now spiders can be any number of legs in lace. Obviously if there were real spiders they would only have 8 legs, so this is near to a real spider as you can get. But they can have a lot more, and many patterns do have more than 8 legs. So we've got the 4 pairs, 2 from the left and 2 from the right. These are going to form the legs, and they generally have 3 twists on. We already have one on from doing the half stitch, so we're going to put 2 more twists on. If it's a bigger spider, it may need more twists. There needs to be sufficient twists, and you can see there, to reach the centre pin. And 3 is about right for this pattern. So we have the 4 pairs and we've pushed the other pairs to one side, so they're out of the way, and we know we're going to work with these 4. Now in a cloth stitch one, we're going to cloth stitch the 2 on the right through the 2 on the left. So start in the middle with the centre 2 and cloth stitch them together. and then take it through the left hand one as well. Then go back over to the right, taking the second one from the right through 2 pairs. And then we put a pin in the centre hole that's marked. This is the centre of the body, and tension them up. And you should be able to tension them quite nicely around that pin. Then we do exactly the same again to cover the pin, the 2 on the right, go through the 2 on the left. And again, right hand one, through the 2 on the left. And to make it match above, we need 3 twists on each of those pairs. And then to finish off, you just do the half stitch, pin, half stitch on both sides to outline the spider, give it a little frame around it. And if necessary, you just tension it up a little bit as you go as well. And then over to the right hand side, and we're using the pair that hangs from the previous Torchon Ground stitch to come down this line. And then when you get to the bottom one, it's the one from each side, of course, that fills in the bottom space. So they've got the 2, one either side, to fill the last one. And again, if you were starting this as a bookmark, you would have put in all of the pairs, so you could then do the second spider without having to move over to the right, over to the left, and then go down and do 3 spiders in a row diagonally downhill. So I hope that's helped with the cloth stitch one. I will just undo the last little bit so I can show you the half stitch spider and how different it looks. Now a half stitch spider is worked in exactly the same method. We've prepared it by doing the Torchon Ground outline at top left and right, and I'm now ready to work the half stitch spider. I've also put the twists on exactly the same as before, and we're going to work the 2 on the right through the 2 on the left, but this time in half stitch. And that is the only difference on this spider that I'm showing you today. So again, first one goes through, second one goes through 2, and we put the pin up. And tension it a little bit, and then again start in the centre and half stitch through. Now this one actually shows up better if you have got more legs coming in and out, but it's the method that I'm showing you. So once you've done the half stitch left and right, again finish it off with a half stitch outline, half stitch, pin, half stitch in Torchon Ground. And when I've done the outline, I'll show you, I'll take the middle pin out so you can actually see it a little bit better. And it gives you a half stitch body to the spider instead of a full cloth stitch one. And it can be quite attractive, but as I say, it does look more impressive when you've got more legs than 8. So if I take the centre pin out, you can now see, hopefully, the little half stitch in the centre. I hope that helps you with a basic spider. If you're working with more legs, then you just take in however many legs you've got. You could have 10 on the left and 10 on the right, but you still take from the centre the 10 on the right through 10 on the left, pin, and then same again to reverse it. And they all end up going in the same direction from which they came. So these on the left here end up travelling through the spider's body and coming out in the opposite side in the same direction they were travelling. That's if you've done it correctly. By starting in the middle and counting through, you get the correct number, hopefully. Hope that's been helpful. If it has, leave me a comment, a thumbs up, and subscribe to hear lots more videos coming soon. If there's something you particularly like to see, just drop me a message and I'll add it to the list to be filmed. Thanks for watching.